Hello, race fans. Welcome to the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. It's Tuesday Night Thunder. We got the trucks at Michigan. I'm Jerry Isaacs, along with my friend and reigning Cup champion, Cody Richardson. How you doing, Cody?
I'm doing pretty good, Jerry. How about you?
Fantastic. Looking forward to this race tonight, Michigan. Tell me what we have in store.
Yeah, 85 laps tonight at Michigan International Speedway. It is a 2 mile speedway, a long, flat, wide open track. Not really flat, I guess. 18-degree bankings in the corners, about 5 to 10 degrees on the straightaways, depending on if you're on the front or the back. 85 laps, like I said tonight. They can make it about 20 to 23 laps on their fuel. They've got 4 sets of tires, so it's going to be close. Nothing extra to play with. Not going to be much, I don't think, strategy wise. You're just going to come in every time you run out of gas, take your tires when you need to, and get back on the track.
Awesome. Well, we've got some trucks out here getting ready to qualify. Hey, if you're out there listening, let me know. How's the quality doing? Can you hear us? Can you hear the motors? Are we doing okay? Just type it in your chat. We want to make sure you guys are having a good experience out there. We've got 30, somewhere around 36 trucks tonight, so we don't have the full 43 that this track can hold. Daytona is always popular. I know we had some provisionals, real life get in the way, but it's still going to be a pretty big and crowded field out here tonight.
Yeah, very big field on a track that's mostly going to be flat out. But, just because you can go wide open doesn't mean that you should. It'll be all about saving that right front tire and who can have speed at the end of the run, not necessarily who's going to be fast at the beginning of one.
Yeah, I think this will be interesting. We had a really good race last week. We had just I think a couple yellows early on, and then a little bit late. Had a lot of green flag pits. I'm thinking we're going to see maybe a little more cautions, but I still think we're going to see some green flag pits tonight.
Yeah, I think you might have a couple cautions early in the race whenever everybody's real packed up close together, understanding what their truck does in the draft, understanding how the air comes off of the spoiler and whether it makes them loose or tight. I think you might get a little bit here in the first few laps, and then we'll probably string out, settle down, have a green flag run, and hopefully go green to the end.
That sounds like it'll be some good racing, a lot of fun. So, why don't you give us a little rundown of the points where we're at? We're only one race into the season, but let's give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, absolutely. Your points leader right now is Alan Ayers with that win last week, his maiden win in Cyber Thunder, is your points leader. 4 points behind him is Brian Dorsey. 5 points behind him is Chris Letts. Crank Bell and Garrett Johnson are actually tied behind that. And rounding out your top 10 in points there is Joey Signs, Jonathan Ellis, Chris Wold, Dave Gainforth, and William Kern, top 10 in points right now.
This has always been one of the most popular fields in Cyber Thunder, the trucks. We always get a lot of people coming out racing. Competition gets really tight. It used to be, come playoff times, it was a scrambler series. So if you were back in the points at the end of a race, you were experiencing a cut. This time we're going to points. It's not going to be a scrambler series. It's no cut and you're out. I think that's going to be good down the road for some of these racers that may have to miss a race, may have a bad race, something like that. And I think we're going to have some really good competition as the season winds down.
Yeah, I agree. I've never been a fan of the Scrambler series, despite being having won the Wednesday night championship in that format. But it's fun to watch. Don't get me wrong, but it is stressful as a driver, not knowing if the next corner, that wall tap you get off the corner, is going to be what ends your championship run or not. I think you'll have a little bit better racing without all of that stress on top of everybody in the middle of the season coming to the end.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for me is I think we're going to see a lot more competitive and a lot better racing. I think that in the Scrambler series, you're so focused on not doing bad that sometimes it's hard to do good, if that makes sense. With points, you aren't too worried about having a bad race, so you're just going to focus on doing the best you can every race that you're out there.
Right. If with the points, if you have a bad race, you're able to come back from it a little bit. You may not win the championship, but you're able to come back from it with the Scrambler series. If you have a bad race, your championship hopes are probably done.
Yeah, one bad race and you're done. So, even if it's not your fault, if you get involved in a wreck,
You're just hoping that somebody else has a worse race than you do.
exactly. Looks like most everybody is going to be putting in a time. Looks like Paul Turner, not surprisingly, may just start from the back. He seems to do that a lot and somehow just seems to find himself there in contention at the end of the race. But everybody else has put in a time. Qualifying is just starting to wrap up.
Yeah, it looks like we got about 5 seconds left before we get there. We'll wait for it to go official, then we'll give you a rundown of the starting lineup here.
So, in terms of tracks, Cody, what do you think about Michigan? Is this one of your favorites?
Not really. I'm more of a fan of the shorter tracks and the tracks where a little bit of break is needed to go in there. Michigan, Las Vegas, Kansas, a lot of these high speed, long tracks that don't require any braking are not really one of my favorites. I'm not as good at working the draft as other people are for sure. That's a failing of myself, not a failing of the track. I like Auto Club, but it's a little bit bumpier and a little bit tougher to drive. But this puts on good racing. There's multiple lanes, multiple grooves allowed to be used. You'll see them fanning out on the start-finish line after restarts and everything, cutting that apron off. It's going to be a fun race for sure and a good one to watch.
I am looking forward to it. Listen, we've got our grid up here. Let's go down that grid based on qualifying. We got our pole setter, Garrett Johnson, followed by Jason Higginbotham, Joey Sainz, Mike Stiverson, 4th place, George Cushman, Ray Richer, Kyle Nadeau, 7th, Corey Sherman in 8th, Jonathan Ellis, Gary Bowman in 10th.
Yep, then Colby Sipe in 11th, William Kern, Judd Danielson, Crank Bell, Nathan Dufton in 15th, Eric Anderson in 16th, Mark Morton in 17th, Chris Wold 18th, Douglas Wasaki 19th, and Chris Dorsey in 20th.
21st is Daniel Koblentz, Cody Meadows 22, Chris Harefield, Brian Dorsey, kind of click buttons and talk here, sorry. Chris Letts in 25th. We've got him still as Jackie. That's an iRacing thing, but that's Chris Letts. 26th, Sam Baumgarten. Neil Hale in 27th. Alan Ayers, our reigning points champion, is right now in 28th. Philip Van Leet, 29th. Carter Lawson in 30th.
Stephen Music 31st, David Gainforth 32nd, Roscoe Koblenz 33rd, Andy Cork 34th, and rounding it out, Paul Turner in 35th. You mentioned Alan Ayers. Why don't we see if we can go find him as they roll off here and see if we can get a little information from him? How's that sound to you?
Absolutely. Get him pulled up here.
All right. Hey, Alan Ayers, this is Cody and Jerry up in the Cyber broadcast booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. I got you loud and clear.
All right. Well, we'll get you while you're rolling off here. Hey, coming off of your maiden victory last week, you are currently the points leader for this series. What's your plan for the race today?
Try not to get caught up in any cautions. I didn't qualify as well as I'd hoped, so just minimize mistakes and make up ground where I can.
That's good. Is this one of your, or you think you're doing pretty good here? Do you have a truck that's capable of coming up and backing up that win from last week? Or what are your hopes for a finish wise here today?
I'm hoping for a top 10. I did a practice run earlier today, and it was pretty solid, so we'll see where we can get it.
Well, hey, keep the temperature out of that right front. Keep that right front tire on it, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of the race.
Hopefully so. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, have a good race, Alan. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
So I'll put you on the spot, Cody. What do you, who are you looking for to be there at the end?
I mean, you can't go away from Mike Stiverson. I mean, he's had nothing but bad luck in the last couple seasons in the Cup Series, but he's put some work in. He's been running with us in the Cup Series. These Cup Series and his trucks are pretty similar to each other. I think he's learned a little bit about saving that right front tire. I think he knows what he's doing. I look for him to be in the top few spots come the end of the race.
You know, that was who I was thinking of as well, but if you're going to force me to pick another driver, I'm going to pick Kyle Nadeau to be there at the end. So green flag just dropped. They are racing, and they're headed down the front stretch.
Yeah, still 2x2 all the way through. Fanning out a little bit in the back there, but everybody's still trying to maintain, just seeing if they can get an open spot, try to single file out here as they go into turn one.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of patient racing at first. I think that you'll see some guys going full throttle through here. They're going to burn up their tires. A lot of guys already know that they're going to burn them up. So you're going to see some side-by-side racing, but I think you're going to see some cautious racing for a few laps here.
Yeah, they're not sure what is going to happen. They're not really sure probably how well their car handles or truck handles in the draft with all these trucks around them. And it's just going to be a difficult situation here trying to figure out what's going on as we see 3 wide, almost 4 wide in the middle of the pack back here coming to the start-finish line.
Yeah, they're you know, it's easy to say be patient. We always talk about it, but you want to be patient, and then you see an opening and you got to go for it because nobody wants to be, 10th, 12th, 15th there in those numbers. Here we
Yeah,
are,
not at
3
all.
wide.
Yeah, 3 wide coming off a 2 here. And absolutely right. Like, I understand being patient, but sometimes you got to take the runs when they come. Sometimes it's harder to pass later. You got to get what you can on the entry. A little contact going into turn 3 there.
Looks like Crank Bell on the outside here is looking at taking it 4 wide. Kyle slides out. I don't know if that was a block or if he just got a little bit loose and slid out in front of Crank.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but Crank's giving him a big push down the front straightaway here. Backs off a little bit as they come to the entry of turn 1, but it looked like a little bit of contact between the 08 and the 31. As now Crank takes Kyle. Is he going to get to the outside quarter? Doesn't look like he's going to make it there yet, but still 3 wide behind him.
Yeah, not to ignore these guys up front. We got Garrett Johnson leading the way, followed by Jason Higginbotham, and then Mike Stiverson a little bit back. But those guys are single file for the first 4 or 5 positions.
Yeah, it looks like there's some good racing back here. Still side by side, 2, 3 wide in the middle of the pack. It looks like the front few have single filed out a little bit here, just trying to find their spot in line.
Look,
97 again gets a big push from the 7, gets to his right rear quarter, has to back out a little bit on entry to 1.
oh,
And
seven's in the
a
wall.
little bit. Looks like he's got it back under control, but he's going to be falling a few positions there. That wall tap is not going to do him any favors for speed down the backstretch.
Oh, and these trucks really are such that, you get a little bit of aero damage and you're just going to fall the whole rest of the race.
Yeah,
You can see-
with all this downforce and everything on it, it just one little. They try to make him as streamlined as possible, and any little bit of damage, and it just sucks it back through the pack.
Yeah, it looks like he might have some front damage already from that hit. A little bit of crinkle there.
Yes, we got another truck slow on entry to 1 there. The 9, I don't know what happened with him, but the 9 was slow on the front stretch on entry to 1. Don't know if he was just trying to give up some spaces and back it back up, but he's back up to speed now on exit of 2.
One of the biggest movers so far, we talked about him earlier. Crank Bell is up 6 positions, still pushing Kyle. They're just rolling that outside. Crank, I think, is showing some patience, not necessarily something he's known for, but right now he's showing some patience and just following Kyle or pushing Kyle.
Yeah, he knows that. Kyle's always been fast in these trucks as well. It may not be the time to kind of take those positions. Maybe he wants to sit back and just save that tire a little bit, use him to break the air in front, and use that draft to just back up his corners and have a good run down the straightaway.
Looks like we have a battle for third right now with Jonathan Ellis and Jason Higginbotham are battling here. And we also have a battle for first, Mike Stiverson on the inside of Garrett Johnson.
Yeah, 2x2 for the first 4 positions here. Mike Stiverson's going to dive it down to that yellow line. It's not really the preferred group. Try to slide up, but he can't quite clear the 88. 88's going to have a huge run coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, there's his run there. He's getting back in front, going to use that momentum to carry himself into the next corner. Mike's going to have the shorter run on the inside, but unless he can really let that truck move to the wall on the outside, I don't know that he can make that pass.
Yeah, it's going to be hard on the inside. You're going to have to drive down. Hopefully you can get a good run and maybe try to slide the guy on exit. Hopefully you have the room to do it, but they are stacking up here behind the 88 in the lead.
Yeah, the other part about running that bottom line is I think he's burning up some tire there. Wouldn't that kind of hurt him in the long run?
Yeah, it can, but if he thinks that the 88 is slowing him up, the clean air is going to be king. Everything you do is for trying to get clean air here. He had a small gap on the outside, but he doesn't have a chance to get up in there. The 44 fills it pretty quickly. He's going to dive down in here into turn 1 again, try to take the shorter distance. About 1 lane up is usually the preferred groove here at Michigan. You don't want to be down there on the apron. Doesn't seem to be a lot of grip down there or right next to the apron. That's kind of the line Mike's running right now, just trying to get a good run and get ahead of the 88, but he's going to lose second to the 44.
We are 8 laps in. I think a fuel run somewhere around 20, 22. I would expect around lap 14 or 15, we may see some of these trucks start hitting that wall on exit.
I could agree with that. Once they start getting tight, it's not turning the way they want to do. You can't lift or you'll lose all your momentum. Sometimes it's easier to take the wall tap than it is to lose momentum in 3 or 4 spots. Top 5 single filed out, but they're still 2x2 behind them there for 6th place. Crank Bell looks like he's going to try to take it 3 wide on exit here. Not able to make the run work.
Yeah, Crank looks like he's committed to that outside line. Kyle moved down to the inside. He's underneath William Kern. Crank stayed to the outside, so he's got Kern in front of him. He's trying to push Kern. Looks like he's outside trying to get some fresh air there. See if he can make that run and get
He's going to
on
make it to his rear quarter this time. Yep, he's finally there.
Yeah, he is there. Kyle was there. Oh, Kyle with a
Kyle
hit.
with a contact with the 25. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's Jonathan
Crank's going to take
Ellis.
advantage of that.
Absolutely. Crank doesn't mind going 3 wide. He's on the outside where he likes it. Kyle's trying to keep that car down. Jonathan Ellis is in the not lose momentum, stuck in the middle. He gets loose on exit.
Yeah, he had to check up a little bit. It's going to allow Kyle to clear him as well. He can move up in that spot. Yeah, take the preferred groove and let him take the bottom or wear out the tires more.
Yeah, so we got Crank followed by Kyle now on the outside. Jonathan moved down
3
to the
wide with a
inside.
little bit of contact. Going to be 4 wide here. The 53 checked it up. Was going to be 4 wide on the off the exit of 4 right behind this group.
Looks like Eric Anderson is stuck in the middle of a sandwich here. We got 3. They were 3 by 3. Now it's 3 by 2. Now it's 2 by 2 by 2.
Well, Joker's on the right, and here I am stuck in the middle with you. He finally made it through. Looks like Chris Wold making some moves as well on that high side. He's seeing what Crank's doing up there and Kyle and trying to follow them through. Chris is up 8 spots and a couple of places behind him. Chris Harefield up 11 from the beginning.
Caution, I think we've got a caution out.
We do have a caution out. Looks like a single car. I don't know what happened. There was a little spin there.
So we are only 12 laps in. We only have 4 sets of tires. I think you pit here, but do you take tires?
That's a tough one, Jerry. I don't know that you do. You really want a set of tires for the end. Looks like they've fallen off. I mean, like a second and a half a lap from what they had started on. They were running 39.9s as their fast lap. Looks like the leader's last lap was a 41.12. And that would have been right as the caution came out. He may have lifted a little bit, but it's pretty well close to that. And so it's a little over a second of fall off there. You can't have that at the end. You'll be a sitting duck. I think you have to come in, top off on fuel. It kind of opens your window up a little bit now, but you can't take tires yet.
Well, let's see if we can see what happened to Daniel. Oh, there was some contact there.
Also, maybe a little bit of blinking happening too. I don't know if that's on our end or if it was on the other end or not.
Yeah, that I think. Yeah, we're getting some blinking here. He blinked out. Looks like. Yeah, looks like he blinked out. He was fine, and then when he reappeared, he was inside another truck. Interesting. After all of that wreck, when we go back live, he does not have any damage.
And that, friends, is the joy of iRacing and the joy of netcode.
Yeah,
It looks
there we
like
go.
everybody came onto pit road here. We'll see if there's
Oh, he does have a
people are
little
taking
moment.
tires or not.
So we're back live. Everybody is on the pit road, and looks like a lot of fuel only. Looks like at least the first 12 places are going to be fuel only. Look who came out ahead in that pit. Mr. Mike Stiverson.
Oh, Mr. Mike Stiverson. About half a second faster on pit road. Probably saved a little bit of fuel behind everybody up there. Lifting a little bit early. So he did have some tire takers also. Corey Sherman, it looks like, may have been the first car to take tires. Just judging off of the pit time here. Pit time of 14.4 seconds versus 6 and 7 seconds for everybody in front of him.
So we'll see how he moves through the pack here. He's going to be starting in 11th. Jonathan Ellis in 15th. It looks like Sam Baumgarten, Eric Anderson, William Kern, those guys took tires. They're kind of back here in the middle of the pack. So we'll see kind of how that works out for them.
Yeah, interesting. We have a mixed bag of strategy here. I still think taking the tires now is not the correct call. I think it'll work out good for you now. You can make it further on fuel, but you're going to hope that you don't have a caution late, and you're hoping that the time you gain now will be more than the time that you will lose on the final pit stop.
So I agree with you in terms of not taking tires now. But what do you think, Cody? What do you do the rest of the way? If we go green, what do you do the rest of the way here? Do you still run it out in fuel, or do you just cut it evenly from here on out?
I think you got to run it out on fuel given the tire situation. You know what I mean? Like you don't really have a lot of room to fudge with there. The longer you run it out, the shorter that final stint's going to be, and you're guaranteed to have fresher tires than everybody else.
So interesting, because I think if it were me, I'd break it into even segments, try the undercut, try and get there with some fresh tires, and see what I could do in terms of undercutting the other drivers.
I see where you're coming from. I just think that the fresher tires at the end are going to be better, especially you always have to worry about a late race caution.
Agree.
Like that's going to be the biggest thing. And old tires, even 5 or 10 lap old tires on a late race caution is going to be a death sentence to anything here.
Yeah, I agree completely with that. I just think that we'll see how it plays out. I think that this series typically, if we can get a long green run at the end of the race, they will go green. If we see a bunch of cautions, we're going to keep seeing cautions. If they get bunched up with 10 laps to go, we're going to see more cautions. But if we can get a good green flag run to the last 10 laps, then the last 10 laps will go green.
I agree. Leader shows the outside, green flag back in the air. Mike Stiverson coming up through the gears. Looks like he may have missed a little bit of a shift there. Inside lane gets a little bit more of a pull. Not really a good push from either of them, but the front four are separated. Looks like Mike's going to lose the lead there. Yeah,
it looks like Higginbotham got a great run there down low. Good start, as you said, getting up through the gears. Garrett's still up there. Kyle now in, looks like, 5th place. Crank just pushing that outside in 4th place, up 10 spots.
Yeah, still 2x2 up there. We got to keep an eye on Corey Sherman. I believe he's the first car on fresh tires there. See what he's doing, making his way through the field. It looks like he was making moves. I thought I saw him go 3 wide on the exit of turn 2. He's already up 3 or 4 spots from the initial restart here.
Yeah, it looks like he's just pinned in a little bit unless he wants to take it 3 wide. It's probably a little early for that, but it looks like he's just kind of pinned in a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Just kind of boxed up there 3 wide in front of him, getting tight.
Yeah, it looks like
he's got a pretty good run here, though. They're wrecking behind. Big wreck behind.
Looked like some big wrecks
wreck
there.
Behind. I don't know what happened, but that was a big wreck behind.
Let's see if we can see what happened here before we look at pit strategy. Oh, looks 3x3. Looks like they're 3 wide going in. Just a little bit of contact. I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way and back it up. Sorry, guys. But it looks like we had 25, 98, 29, 3 wide, 31 pushing, trying to get in there, almost make it 4 wide. And 25 just slides up the track, causes some havoc, and after that, that's just it. It's just for everybody.
Just a little bit of contact there off the bottom, got a little bit loose, got into the side of the car or the truck up top of him there. I don't think anything of that was intentional, just hard racing. Thought they had the room. Thought he had a little more room on the outside. Middle car thought he had a little more room on the inside. They make a little bit of contact and just a racing incident, looks like.
All right, so we just pit, but do you come back in for more fuel, or do you actually come in and take some tires?
22 laps. So we have what? We're on lap 17, finishing lap 17. So let's call it, we have 70 laps to go. You can make it 22 laps on fuel. You're stretching it. It looks like we may have a taker. Nope, it's a fake. Fake to the pit road there.
No, we've got some takers back here. Looks like starting Corey. Corey's coming in.
Maybe he's wanting to top it off. This would make it, if you could go 22 laps and he tops off now and doesn't take tires, this would put him probably on the winning strategy because he has to make 1 less pit stop than everybody else.
I agree. I think these guys, if you can save fuel a little bit, you can make it from here. I think coming in and it is absolutely the right call. If you didn't take tires last time, I would take tires. If you did, I would not.
Yeah, I don't think you want to give up the track position. I can understand why the top 5, top 7 didn't come in. I can also understand why Corey did come in. 15th on back, I think probably should have pit if they didn't take the tires. Now would be the time to get on there. 22 laps is going to be pretty easy, and especially in the pack, if you can save that fuel, maybe able to stretch it up to 23, 24. I think this is doable for them without any more cautions to make it to the end with one less stop than your leaders right now.
I agree with you. I think that it's all on whether we can go green or not, and we don't know that. We'll have to watch it play out and see. So to recap here, we've got kind of from the front to the back a little bit. We've got Garrett Johnson in first place, Jason Higginbotham. Mike Stiverson dropped down to third after starting first on the last green. Mark Morton up 13 spots into fourth place. Crank Bell up 9 spots into fifth. Chris Harefield in sixth. Kyle, seventh place, right where he started on the grid. Gary Bowman and Cody Meadows up 13 spots in ninth place, followed by Ray Richer in 10th.
Yeah, Eric Anderson in 11th, up 5 spots. Neil Hale in 12th, up 15, along with Alan Ayers. Said he wanted the top 10. He's over halfway there at 15 spots in 13th. George Cushman in 14th. Stephen Music, 15th. Joey Signs, Chris Dorsey, Roscoe Koblenz, Nathan Dufton, and Dave Gainforth up 12 spots in 20th.
Chris Letts in 21st. Andy Quirk is up 12 spots into 22nd. Chris Wald, now some of these guys are back here because they just pit and took fuel. Chris was one of them. Chris in 23rd, followed by Colby Sipe, a new racer tonight. Doug Wysocki, Daniel Koblenz is in 25th, and then we've got some cars in the pits. 28th is Philip Van Vliet, Sam Baumgarten. Corey Sherman is back in the pits, topping off one more time. He is definitely going fuel strategy. There he is, just coming out of the pits now. Jonathan Ellis, Paul Turner in 28th.
Yeah, it's like Corey Sherman now back in 31st, Brian Dorsey 32nd, Carter Lawson 33rd, William Kern 34th, and still getting repairs in the pits is Judd Danielson right now. Off track currently. He's been in the pits for about 3.5 minutes getting some damage fix, it looks like.
Yeah, if my positions are slightly off, it's because when I have my push to talk on, it freezes SDK scoring, and it will not actually live update while I'm talking.
All right. So another restart here. Looks like we're going to have Garrett Johnson on the outside, Jason Higginbotham on the inside as that pace truck makes the hard left-hand turn, pulls off. Coming to the line.
Let's watch Mike here, see how good a start he gets to see if there's something in the way he's shifting. See, it looks like Crank is right up to him. So Mike just being a little bit cautious maybe in his starts. That cost him the last restart. Let's see how it works this time.
Yeah, looks like the outside lane got a much better start, but Jason Higginbotham going to be coming to the inside now. He's able to clear him. Is going to clear him off of 2. He gives him the room. I think in another 60 laps or so, he doesn't give him the room there. He takes that spot from him, just being very nice, very gentlemanly right now, racing for that lead.
Yeah, I think Jason needs to be a little more decisive, for a better word, in terms of if you want that spot, you got to get out there early and take that spot.
Yeah, he had him cleared by at least half a truck. He could have definitely taken the run all the way to the top, but decided to give him that. We have another caution coming out. Another caution out right now.
We do. Let's see if we can see what happened here. Oh, I see some car parts here. And some smoke. That is not good for William Kern. It looks like he may be in the pits for a while. His race may be done.
Yeah, smoke coming out of the back of the truck is never a good sign. Let's go back and see if we can figure out what happened to cause that.
Looks like we've got too wide. The 07 car just got loose and looked like he got loose and lost control there.
Yeah, it looks like the 07 has a little bit too much wheel into it there. Gets a little bit loose on corner exit. Comes down and clips. Who was that underneath him? The 73 was that underneath him? And William Kern, just an unfortunate bystander, got collected up in that incident, just trying to mind his own business behind these guys and just gets collected.
Yeah, that's, we talk about being in the right place at the right time, but that's being in the wrong place at the right time, I guess. Or wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, looks like your leaders, almost everybody is going to be coming down pit road right now. I think if I'm Corey Sherman, I'm staying out and inheriting this lead.
I agree.
And I've already topped off. We have another caution. You have the fuel to be able to make it. I think you stay out and inherit this lead, but it looks like he's going to be coming to pit road.
Yes, he is. Everybody is, except guess who? Mr. Paul Turner, who did
Paul
pit.
Turner. Who
Let's see.
decides to do the last to first challenge is going to be able to at least lead a lap here today.
Absolutely. So do you think he will get his point, lead a lap, and then pit, or do you think he stays out? He pit lap 17 was the last time he pit.
That was the last caution. I mean,
Let's
I'm
jump
not sure.
inside and see if he's saving fuel. Oh yeah, he's definitely.
He's in a high gear. It's not clutch saving or anything, it doesn't look like, but he is in a high gear just trying to keep it rolling.
He's warming his tires up. That's not an indicator that you're going to pit.
Well, I know he just came down pit road and everything, but let's see if we can get a hold of Mike Stiverson here. See if we can get a hold of Mike here and talk to him while he comes off of pit road and everything. Mike, it's Jerry and Cody up in the cyber booth. You got us?
I sure do, guys. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Up here in this new paint job on this truck, just kind of trying to take it easy up front. I want to stay out of the mess. So
Well,
I do like that paint
We,
job.
we saw you leading a couple laps up there in that beautiful new paint job, but it looks like you had a little bit of trouble on the restart. What's going on with that?
I was just being extra cautious, because we were on those old tires and I didn't know with the heat cycle how it would feel diving down into turn one. So I was just being easy on purpose, and we kind of needed to save some fuel even with these pit stops. So I was okay setting in second and third and just being able to lift at the end of the straightaway.
Well, that's perfectly understandable. Keep that heat out of that right front tire, save a little bit of fuel. You're back a little bit farther now. Hey, we'll let you get back down to your room and everything and get ready for this restart here. Looks like you got the 94 in front of you and Paul Turner out front leading. See if you can go catch him and pass him.
Yeah, sounds good. Like, I'm just going to take it easy, guys. I mean, I want to get back out there up front, but no hurry.
Hope
Long
we're
way to
talking
go.
to you at the end.
I appreciate it.
All right, we're going to send Mike back down to his team. Let him talk that over as we get ready for this restart here.
So Paul Turner stayed out, up 34 spots. Paul Turner is your new leader. He's staying on the bottom, not too far behind in fourth place. Alan Ayers up 24 spots. Bigger mover, 26 spots. Roscoe Koblentz in seventh place.
Hey, Alan said he wanted to come out here and get a top 10, and he's currently running in the top 5. I don't think he's going to be too upset with that. We're going to be coming green again this time. Let's see what can happen here.
everybody
See if
pit.
Paul learned anything.
Yeah,
Everybody's pit.
I was just looking. Everybody's pit. We again had a mix of tires and fuel, but it should be pretty straightforward from here. We'll see how this start goes. Truck is off.
Yeah, pace truck is off. Going to be coming to the green flag now. They enter the Geico restart zone. Green flag is in the air. Paul gets a really good launch off of the bottom there. Looks like sitting in the back didn't do anything there. Somebody checked up in the back. They're 3 wide coming from the back right there. 7 looks like he got a really good jump. Was 3 wide on the restart at the start finish line. Running that high line, making some good use out of it.
Yeah, we are 3 wide now. Looks like Joey Signs, if I'm looking at my cars correctly, came down the middle and moving up. Oh, I was looking at the paint job. That's George Cushman. As you were talking about, he's making moves.
Hey, no worries
Oh,
about that.
Kyle
Looks
up
like,
front gets loose. He saves it.
Yes, he does, but that takes Alan Ayers up to 3rd place and now fighting for 2nd with Paul Turner up there.
Yeah, Allen's.
Oh, he's going to have a
think
huge run. He's diving to the inside here, going for the lead.
he is forcing his way into that lead. Nothing wrong with that.
I don't think he's going to be able to clear Higginbotham, though. He's going to have him at his quarter. Has to give him the room on exit, though. It's going to hurt his momentum down the backstretch, but 3 wide behind him for a couple of rows. Middle of the pack is antsy right now, it looks like.
Yeah, the 447 and it looks like 19 there are 3 wide. Paul is on those old tires, is falling back, top of 4.
Yeah, 4 wide now coming off of turn 4 across the start-finish line. A big group of trucks there. I think Paul's just trying to stay out of the way on those older tires.
Yeah, that staying out did not seem to work for him. He's already dropped to 13th and looks like he's still dropping further.
Yeah, we'll see what happens though when it cycles. If it saved him a set of tires, little brush with the wall there off of 2. But if he saved a set of tires, he may be in the catbird seat for the end of the race here.
Yeah, Mike looks like he got in the wall. He's saved it. He did okay. Kyle here in 7th place, still struggling a little bit after he got loose, maybe heated up those tires a little bit.
Ooh, contact there in the middle of the pack. They're going to go to the apron to try to avoid that. Saved it, though. Just a little bit of contact. Tight racing back here in the middle of the pack as the front 5 or 6, it looks like, have pretty much spread out, for the most part, single file.
Guys are racing pretty hard. A little more contact than I expected to see this early on in the race, going 2 and 3 wide.
Especially with 58 laps to go still. You still got 2 or 3 more pit stops to make before the end of the race. It's aggressive, but hey, you got to get those positions when you can get them. They've seen how it was on 10 or 15 lap old tires, how hard it was to pass. On fresh tires, whenever you have a run, is going to be the easiest to get around somebody, so you got to use it if you can.
Yeah, so let me see if I can pull it up here, but our top 3 all got tires. Looks like the last pit cycle, whereas Alan Ayres, Garrett Johnson, 4th and 5th, those guys got fuel only.
Tight racing here in the middle of the pack. Is that the 9 that was laying it on the door, the car underneath him? No contact or anything, but just really tight racing in the middle of the pack. They're still 3 wide at some places.
It's still one big pack overall. We got a couple cars that, due to accidents, that kind of fell out, but everybody's still in one big pack within about 2 to 4 seconds of leader to the back of pack. 3 wide here.
There's a little bit of a gap from the leaders. They've kind of spread a little bit, but not really broken away. There's no big breakaway or anything. They're just trying to get single filed out, I think, behind them. But further back in the pack, they need to make the time. Oh, there is contact there off of 2.
Yeah, 18 thought he had a hole. That hole closed. He backed out. Everybody's safe and continues running. But Chris Harefield did fall back a little bit when he had that little contact.
Momentum is so important in these trucks, and any little bit that you have to lift, any little bit of contact, any little wall scrape just ruins that momentum, especially off of the corner, and you just lose it all the way down the straightaway. He's got another giant run underneath the 03 now. Neil Hill holding his own on the outside. Chris is just going to back off of here in the 32, back off and let it go as I say that, and he dives it underneath everybody. Chris making me a liar once again.
Joey Sainz in the middle. Oh, there's some contact. Joey Sainz 3 wide with Sam Baumgartner. Baumgarten gets the worst of it, saves the car, but then falls back a little bit. Joey Sainz on the inside of Cody Meadows. Joey also got tires and is really trying to make some moves here. He's into 8th place.
Yeah, a lot of this mixed strategy here. A lot of people making some big moves. You can see now Chris is stuck in the middle 3 wide with Neil Hill on the inside. A line of trucks coming by him on the outside here. Wasn't able to finish his corner, had to pinch it off with the car on the outside. Wasn't able to get it opened up, and it cost him all the way down that front straightaway. He's got room now, though. He slides up in behind. Hopefully take that high side momentum as they're still 3 wide behind him.
Yeah, these cars here, are we going to go 4 wide? Oh, no, we're going to stay 3 wide. These cars here.
Thought about it for a second.
Yeah, looks like it. These cars back here, they're running the very bottom. Neil, the 38 or 98, sorry, Carter Lawson, they're running the bottom, which, I mean, if you have to, you do it. But if I'm with you, I don't think that's the preferred line. If you don't have to run it, I wouldn't want to.
No, but if it means you get clean air, if that clean air means a lot, I haven't driven these trucks in a while. I'm not sure how it is here, but clean air is usually king. If that means you have to run the non-preferred line, as Chris has to pinch off his corner again, the truck on his outside didn't get it all the way to the wall like he thought. Had to kind of turn that wheel a little bit, but it didn't really cost him. Chris making some moves back here.
Up in about the battle for 5th place. Well, Alan Ayres is holding 5th. Battle for 6th is 3 wide with Joey Sainz once again in the middle with Baumgarten on the bottom.
Good racing all across the track here, as there's little groups of 2, 3 wide everywhere. And I don't really know where to look, Jerry. There's racing everywhere on this track.
There is racing everywhere. Alan Ayres holding tight on 5th now. He fell back a little bit, to those guys with fresher tires, but the ones behind him are battling. He's got some clean air and doing a great job holding on to that 5th position.
Yeah, I think the clean air there, the gap to Mike in front is about a second and a half or so, but the battling 3 wide behind him and the clean air in front of him is what's keeping him here, although he appears like he might be a little bit of a cork in the bottle, but I don't know that they can get around him.
Well, I think the other issue is every time they catch up to him, they start going 3 wide. So They're not necessarily helping themselves there. Now they've settled in single file. Let's see what happens here when Cody Meadows catches up to Allen.
Yeah, hopefully maybe Cody can generate a run, get around him without the guys behind him fighting him for it as well. That's the biggest thing at tracks this way, and it's one of the reasons why I don't like it, is you spend a lap or two trying to figure out why you're better than somebody else. You finally make a move, it doesn't work out, and then you lose 4 spots because the cars behind you smell the blood in the water, and they just go for it. And you can't make moves and be defensive at the same time. It's hard to play offense and defense at the same time, and you've got to time everything and know that you're going to clear the car that you're trying to pass. It looks like Cody's going to give Allen a bump down the front stretch here, try to get a little bit of room. Is he just going to push him out to draft and work on a run?
I tell you
He's gonna
what,
run the higher line.
yeah, the two of them together, working together, are going to be faster than fighting each other. And Cody Meadows knows those leaders up there have kind of left him. I don't think Cody Meadows is known for his patience, but it would be smart to be pushing Allen and working together to catch that pack in front.
I agree that 3 wide, 2 wide battling just sidesteps everybody, especially with the leaders now running side by side. This is the perfect opportunity for Cody to push Allen up there and work together with him and get to that front group. You can drive away from the guys behind that are running side by side and drive to the guys in front that are running side by side. You're going to be better off.
Yeah, we haven't been trying to ignore these guys up front. It's Mark Morton in the lead right now, followed by Jason Higginbotham, Mike Stiverson, and Crank Bell. But honestly, they were running single file for so long. We had such great action. We were focusing on it behind.
Yeah, single file. They had about 1.5 second lead on the 5th place Allen Ayers. It's kind of come down a little bit. Looks like about 1.1 seconds now between Allen and Mike. But Mike's going to be side by side up there with Crank. Looks like Cody finally got a run on Allen. He's going to get him on the outside here and clear him at the start-finish line. This may be bad news for Allen here unless he can throw a big block on the 9. I think that dirty air in front of him, with a little bit older tires, is going to be
Yeah, I think it's
maybe what...
I think it's, as you said, I think it's those older tires for him. I mean, he's not dropping like a rock, but he is slowly dropping, and these guys all have fresher tires that are right behind him.
Yeah, once you have one truck in front of you, the dirty air just compounds, and it makes it harder and harder and harder to run your line without getting super tight on the exit of the corner. And it looks like what's happening now is you can just see that everybody gets a run coming off of the corner. He's going to go to the inside, try to shortcut the start-finish straight, pull a little bit of gap, but I think you're going to see the 53 be able to get up to him on exit here, as they're going to be too wide. It slides up, gets loose. 53 is loose, saves it though, but he's going to cost him a lot of momentum down the backstretch and lose a lot of time here.
That car you saw down on the bottom on the apron was a damaged car. William Kern just trying to keep on track, get some points, just running the bottom with his damage.
Yeah,
Up in
Jerry,
the
man,
front,
it's amazing how fast this does whenever people start going green. We're already finishing lap 38, getting ready to start 39. We're going to have green flag pit stops coming up anytime.
Absolutely. I think as we kind of look down the field, you can see
And it looks like Paul Turner's in the pits. Paul Turner is in the pits right now.
So in the pits, lap 39, he is still on a pit cycle that might work for him.
Yeah, I think with 22 laps being the pit lap 17, made it to lap 39. That's right at 22, 23 laps. I think if he can make that work again, there was a caution in there. I think he'll be able to make it work. The only downside to his strategy right now is he's got nobody to draft with. He's going to come out and be on a little bit fresher tires, but he's not going to have any drafting help. So the gain of the fresh tires isn't going to be near as high as what it would be if he'd be in a pack.
Yeah, and drafting is huge with these trucks on this track. Drafting is going to be a big thing. But I'll tell you, it looks like most of the cars are single file. We got a little bit of double file here and there, but most of them are single file. I think we got a good chance of going green the rest of this race.
Yeah, you still got a couple groups that are side by side, groups of 3, 4, 5 trucks that are racing each other. But it looks like everybody's kind of calmed down a little bit, giving everybody a little bit more room. Trucks aren't handling quite as good as what they thought they were going to be.
Great battle for the lead here. Jason Higginbotham pulled out in front of Mark Morton down on the bottom, got ahead of him, actually went down the bottom again in the corner, and Mark took the outside line, pulled that lead away. Let's see what Jason does it on exit here.
Yeah, Jason's going to get a run here. Mark's going to get to his back bumper here and give him a shove down the back straightaway.
Yeah, that's smart right there because you've got Crank Bell and Mike Stiverson side by side behind him. Line up single file, pull away from these guys, and give yourself a gap.
Yeah, unfortunately for Mike, he's not able to clear Crank. And don't look now, but look behind is Cody Meadows and Joey Signs coming up behind him quickly.
Yeah, that was over a 1 second gap earlier.
Yeah, whenever Cody was pushing Allen back there, he was every bit of 1 to 1.5 seconds, now down to 0.3 of a second behind. I think Mike and Crank have been side by side, I think, ever since then, though. Mike's just not able to clear him. And Mike is going to be pitting this time, coming to pit road this time for the 20, along with the 97, it looks like, calling it out on the radio right now. We're going to watch Mike, see how his pit entry is here. Gets off the banking, makes it down. Does he get it checked up enough?
Oh, he came in hot, it looks like, but
It looks like he's okay, though.
so we've got a couple cars coming in. Let's see if the leaders follow.
Allen is also pitting in. I said we've had about 1 second to 1.5 seconds of fall off from their best laps.
So these
Mike's
are
gonna
guys,
do
let's
that.
see.
I think Mike might inherit the lead with this if this green flag cycle stays out. He was less than 1 second behind the leader. This might put him up to the lead.
Yeah, so these are the guys that are kind of cutting it evenly, that are pitting, as opposed to the guys on track who are going to run it dry.
Hearing a bunch of people calling out pits on the
Oh,
radio.
yeah.
Looks like leader's coming to pit road. Oh, Crank's coming to pit road also. A little bit in the grass, but I think he made it okay.
I couldn't tell if he hit the cone there or not. Looks like everybody made it in okay. Looks like about half the field. And we now have a new leader.
Yeah, Philip Van Vliet looks like he may have had a black flag there. I don't know if that's a black flag or a meatball, but it looks like a penalty flag for him. The only one so far I've seen that's had a trouble.
So Mike Stiverson pulled ahead of Cody Meadows. Cody Meadows looks like he may be pitting. Yes, he is
Well,
pulling
yeah,
in
it's
the
coming
pits.
this time along with the 9.
So we need to watch Mike here. He's
And
oh
caution's
no.
out. Caution's out. I'm not sure what happened, but caution out on the racetrack right now.
I see smoke at the back of the pit lane. I'm not getting anything on my indicator as to what happened, but somebody obviously might have had an issue on pit lane.
Yeah, take a look at the let's take a look at
Right there it is.
the
I see
6
it.
of Corey Sherman, maybe. That's who showed up on mine. I'm not sure if that's what happened or not.
I see somebody back there in the pits. Let's see here. Struggling to find it here. Give me.
Actually, go to the 31. 31 looks like 31's taking the claim for that. Let's see what actually happened there.
All right, here we go.
Oh, damage
Oh,
here.
yeah,
Oh, just
he's-
didn't hear him pitting.
Oh, Chris
Oh.
Wald. Oh,
Oh, that sucks
No.
for Chris there.
and he looks like he has a lot of damage on that truck.
Yeah, luckily it's a lot of rear end damage. It'll be aero related, but he hit him pretty square in the bumper. Oh man,
yeah.
that's a shame for Chris there.
That is.
Called it out. I don't know if radio chatter was a lot of people were calling out their pits and everything. Radio chatter may have been walked over. Just didn't know they were pitting and
Well, he
couldn't
also had a
check up in
damaged
time.
truck. He may, frankly, just may have been struggling with control of that truck.
Yeah, either way, 31 took claim for that and apologized profusely to everybody on the radio. It's a shame. Shame for the 32 was working his way up the field, was doing pretty good, but we'll see if he can get some damage fixed and maybe still come out and salvage a good finish here.
Yeah, I think Mike Stiverson is one of the guys that's really going to hurt. Mike was in position. He had pit early. He was coming around, and he was right at the start-finish. So he's not going to fall down a lap. Looks like he's being scored in 8th place, but I really think whoa! Somebody comes flying by. But I really think he had a shot at taking that lead.
I do too. If the green flag cycle could have finished off there, I think Mike was a sure bet to be in the lead right there.
So,
But We've got one more pit stop at least for all these guys. Everybody looks like they're pretty much on the same strategy now. Mike's got a couple of guys have a couple lap older tires.
Yeah, I think if it's me, I want to just be careful, be safe. I want to try and run in the top 10, but I'm not worried about getting to the front until after that green flag pits, because that to me is kind of a I'll call it the wild card of racing. A lot of people don't practice it. A lot of people mess up. I've messed up a ton, and it will split this field up.
Yeah, that's green flag pit stops are where these races are won. You can gain so much time, and you can just as easily throw your entire race away with a bad green flag pit stop. It's like you said, not a lot of people practice it. Run in that top 10, maintain contact with that leader, get on pit road one lap before they do. Just make a good stop and you'll cycle out to the front. These new tires are worth so much time that I think a lap or two different undercut is going to be the difference between winning the race and finishing 7th or 8th.
Yep, I agree. We had a couple cars get a wave around. They were caught in the pits at the wrong time. It looks like some guys like Dorsey, Nadeau, Music, Brandon, Paul Turner. So those guys were at risk of going a lap down. But a lot of people there pit, they stayed out and are getting that lap back. So we're going to end up with, looks like at least 28 cars still on the lead lap.
Yeah, give you a quick rundown of the top 10 right now as we're coming to the green flag. Looks like your leader is going to be Chris Harefield, Crank Bell in 2nd, Jason Higginbotham 3rd, Mark Morton 4th, Garrett Johnson 5th, Gary Bowman 6th, Sam Bumgarten 7th, Alan Ayers in 8th, Mike Stiverson in 9th, and Corey Sherman in 10th. Coming out of the middle 3 and 4 right now. Pace truck will be making the left-hand turn off of the track. And we are going to be going green again. It looks like they delayed the green a little bit here. They were double filed, ready to go. Jerry, you want to keep on and going down the list here from 10th on or 11th on, and we'll just go ahead and give them a full rundown.
Absolutely. 11th place, Neil Hale. And again, mine are going to be approximate as I hold my button down. Nathan Dufton, George Cushman, Dave Gainforth. Looks like Cody Meadows, Joey Signs, Brian Dorsey, Stephen Music, Chris Letts, and Paul Turner in 20th.
Yeah, Roscoe Koblenz 21st, Doug Wasaki 22nd, Eric Anderson, Chris Roll 23rd and 24th, Andy Corkin 25th, Chris Dorsey 26th, Kyle Nadeau in 27th, Ray Richard 28th, showing a lap down, Daniel Koblenz 29th, Carter Lawson in 30th.
Jonathan Ellison, Colby Sipe, William Kern, Judd Danielson, and Philip Van Vliet are the guys making up the rest of the field. Those guys are all either in the pits getting some damage fixed or multiple laps down.
Yeah, it looks like we do have 28 cars currently on the lead lap of the 35 that started this. It's really a good turnout for the good 28 cars on the lead lap. We've only got, what is that, 7 trucks that are a lap down after the 3 or 4 cautions that we've had. That's not really that horrible.
No, let's take a look at Chris's truck. Yeah, so you can see that the back of that truck is still bashed in. It looks like he probably got what he could fixed. The front doesn't look bad at all.
That'll be the good news for him, is that he doesn't have any damage to the front.
Yeah,
of
that back
truck
end
right there.
though had spoiler damage. You know, he's now in 24th. I think he can still get towards the top 10, but I think with that truck he's going to have a hard time getting much farther than that.
I agree. Green flag back out on the racetrack. Looks like the 18 on the inside line did not get a good jump on that restart. Crank got a really, really good jump on the outside. Almost cleared him coming to the start-finish line before he finally found the gear. But he has no help behind him coming into one. They are stacked up on the bottom, giving a good push.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, if you're not a big, if you're not a driver, you don't understand that it's not just you. Oh, 3 wide here.
Yeah, 3 wide for the lead.
We've got Garrett Johnson on the bottom, Higginbotham and Chris Harefield 3 wide in corner 3 coming down to the front stretch.
Yeah, Garrett Johnson and Higginbotham have been leading this race the entire time. 18 has got a quarter panel on the outside there. Looks like Higginbotham tried to squeeze him up, but he was there. 18 was there. Had to give him the room. They're 3 wide for 3rd behind him now.
Yeah, 18 has a help from Crank. Crank's trying to get there and push him, but 44 is out. Oh, no!
Oh, do they save it? going to be off of the track. Caution's out. Caution's out.
Looks like everybody pretty much saved it, but
Yeah, that looks like a little hard racing off of the corner there. 53 gets a little bit loose.
let's go back and take a look at that. Just a little bit of contact, incidental. 53 gets into the 88. 88 spins. No big damage. Those tires are going to be pretty hot. But for Garrett, the bad part is he falls back to 28th place.
Yeah, it looked like Garrett maybe thought that he was going to have a little bit more room on the outside than what he had. I don't know if he thought maybe he wasn't 3 wide or something. But I think just thought he was going to have a little bit more room, kind of got into him there, and then just that incidental contact gets both trucks loose and unable to save it.
The 94 in 6th place. 53 is gets his spot back. He did have a little incidental contact, kind of got a little loose, but is not going to lose his position from it.
Yeah, Mike Stiverson back there in 9th place, didn't gain or lose on that start. Had a little bit of a blinking truck beside him. Was concerned about, wasn't quite sure where he was at. I think that kind of held him back from making some moves on that restart there.
Looking at
we are
paint
at lap
job.
51 now.
Yeah, I'm looking at the paint job on Neil Hale. Look at that truck. That's a pretty truck there.
All these guys with brand new
Greenstone
paint schemes
Motorsports.
coming out this week.
Yeah, we turned on our trading paints this week for all the viewers out there. A little security concern previously. We left it off last week, but heck, we'll take a risk, give you the opportunity to see some of these great paint jobs. I know they put a lot of time and effort into it.
Yeah, unlike you, I did not turn it back on this week. I can't see it except on the copy of the stream that I'm watching up in the corner of my extra monitor here. But so I'm a little bit
Brimstone
delayed
paint job.
looking at these, but that is a beautiful paint job. I think done by another one of our drivers here. Did that paint for him.
So we didn't see, we saw a couple of cars towards the back of the pit. We saw a little bit of a fake. You saw it on screen of the guys up front. But for the most part, people are going to stay out. I think we're going to probably, from those guys, they've only got one more set of tires, so we're going to see one more pit. The fake doesn't work when you have a limited set of tires.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. And we're still another 10 to 15 laps away from taking that final set of tires. Like, we still have, 33 laps to go? Fuel run's only 22, one set of tires. That math don't add up.
Yeah, that's, there we got the Graybeard Wendy's truck, Andy Cork. Eric Anderson's running a Axcon paint scheme. It's not his usual paint scheme, or at least not one I've seen.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of running with Andy Cork and Eric Anderson last season in the Wheels for Warriors Pro Cup that we ran, now the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup on Thursday nights. A couple of good guys out there, really great racers. Really like to put a run together, like those long green flag runs.
Yeah, I really thought we were going to go green. We had that little pit incident, and unfortunately, as I said, I think if we can get to the last 10 laps green, I think we stay green. But if we don't, then I think we see yellows. I hate to say it, I think we're going to be a little bit plagued with yellows here because people are going to be anxious. They're going to be bunched up, and as they say, yellows get together and breed little baby yellows.
I've always heard of this cautions breed cautions, but I kind of like your visualization a little bit more, Jerry.
Little flags get together, they mate and breed more little yellow flags.
All right, then. And that's what they hand out to the marshals in the corners, is those little yellow flags?
Yes,
Is that...
yes. Those are the baby
Okay.
flags. They all
Okay.
aspire to grow up and one day be at the starter box.
At the flag stand?
Yes.
I can see that. I can see that.
But
I'm
they
glad
can't
that
all
everybody
make it.
has the visualization out there in YouTube land. I'm glad everybody loves that visualization. Although I'm not sure some people will be able to sleep easy at night tonight with that.
Tonight when you go to bed, close your eyes, just think about little flags mating.
Oh, Jerry. We're going to be the sole reason to get this channel pulled off YouTube.
I don't think we've said anything. Yeah. Anyway, back to
Well,
racing.
let's hope that we can go green from the end here, not stretch this out any longer than we have to. I know you guys are tired of putting up with us chatting as long as we already have.
Pace car off.
Coming to the green flag right now. Green flag in the air. Outside lane gets a really good jump on that restart. We've seen that consistently today with the outside lane getting a lot better jump than the inside lane on these restarts and restarts. But the inside lane tends to have the better momentum, the shorter distance around turn 1, and will take that lead coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, look at Crank moving to the outside. I was going to say, Crank was on the inside. I don't think that's a place he really likes to be. Obviously, it's not. He's already moved to the outside in third place.
Yeah, tight pushes down there. He gets a little push, a little bit too high probably going into that corner. It had a big shove from the 48 behind him. He's going to try to get to the right rear quarter of the 18. He doesn't do it. Crank in the wall. That was a pretty hard wall hit from Crank. Stacks up the cars on the inside, and it looks like everybody on the inside is going to be able to go around him and clear him. I'd be concerned about having some damage on that truck from that wall hit.
Exactly what I was going to say is, you know, a hit like that in the next gen car, you just go, oops, and move on. But he seems to be doing fine. But typically when you have a wall hit like that in the trucks, you're going to start falling back a little bit slowly with that aero damage.
Yeah, that's the difference between a composite body and those steel bodies that these trucks still have that bend that in a little bit, you lose a little bit. Granted, sometimes a little bit of right rear hit can help your downforce, help your side force out a little bit, but I'm not quite sure it will. Doesn't seem to be affecting him too bad right now, though.
No, back here around 8th, 9th, you've got 2x2x2 with Corey Sherman. We haven't talked about him in a while in 7th place. Also got, excuse me, Gary Bowman, Neil Hill, Mike Stiverson, Joey Sainz, all battling with Alan Ayres in front of them in 6th.
Yeah, a lot of tight racing up there. Tight racing for 3rd as well. Some big shoves coming there. 3 wide for 2nd place now as they're 2x2 behind him. Crank just sitting back in 5th, just watching what's going on right now.
Yeah, they're 3 wide. They're all 3 down towards the bottom of the track. And there we go. 53 starts to drift up. 18 reacts, moves up a little more.
Yeah, this track is wide enough for 3, 4, 5 wide, but you have to be able to give room to the cars below. I understand the outside truck wanting to pinch them down. Nothing wrong done there, but just gets real tight on exit the tighter you're pinching everybody underneath you.
Yeah, and these cars have made a little bit of a gap, the top 5 here to 6th place.
Yeah, about a 10 truck length gap to the cars behind. The top 5 are running pretty well single file now. Looks like one truck at the 48 coming to the inside of Crank, but he's giving a big shove to the truck in front of him, the 53 it looks like. Now 3 wide as Neil Hale doesn't quite finish the corner right, doesn't roll the center quite well enough, loses a little bit of that momentum and is stuck on the top of 3 wide behind.
So all you
tight 3 wide racing, did a little bit of contact there between Cody Meadows and who's that on the inside of him? It looks like Alan Ayres on the inside. A little bit of contact on the start finish line. Alan lost a little bit of momentum. He's going to be stuck bottom of 3 tight with a lot of contact. Everybody's okay, but that was a lot of contact between 20 of Mike Stiverson and the 94 of Alan Ayres.
Yeah, Alan's fallen back a little bit. He's down into 13th. Seems to be struggling with the handling of that truck a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard to get that momentum back once you lose it. You kind of get stuck in a spot where you're trying to side draft the truck in front of you, hopefully hoping to pull them back a little bit and keep from losing another spot. And I think it was just a little bit tighter than he expected it was going to be.
So all of you out there in viewer land, tell me what you think. I know I do a lot of this high up kind of chopper blimp type view. To me, it gives you a real good view of the trucks, where they're at on there. We use it a lot for spotting, but this is the TV view, if you want to call it that, what you see a lot more on TV. Good side view of the trucks, but to me doesn't give you that idea of exactly how close they are to one another. If you have a favorite, put it in the chat. Let us know which of your TV views is the favorite. Which camera?
Yeah, I bet my mom will be in there telling you what view she loves the best, won't she?
It's you talking. Absolutely.
I don't get to do it all the time, but hey, Mom, I'll say it right now for this one while we're in the booth. We got a lot of good racing out here. Hopefully I'm keeping you what's going on. If not, I'm sure you'll let me know.
Mark Morton making a move for 4th place, going around Crank. We talked about Crank earlier, hitting the wall, having a little damage. You're starting to see cars pass him by right now.
Yeah, he's trying to side draft tight on the 8 there, but he's just starting to fall back. You got to wonder if it's not overheating those tires a little bit. able to hold on while the tires still have some fresh on them, but once you wear those stickers off, it's just starting to fall back, it looks like. That was a really hard hit for the 14.
Yeah, I don't really see.
Oh, loose truck on the apron. Loose truck on the apron in one. Looks like Neil Hale got a little loose on entry. Don't know if he had any help. He's going to be 4 wide coming off of turn 2. He's on the bottom. Everybody, oh, and a wreck behind. Wreck behind. Caution is out.
Little baby
Caution
yellows.
is out.
Little baby yellows.
Little baby yellows. But, Jerry, I think we're on the edge. You're going to see some people pitting for tires right now.
I think where are we at? 25 to go. I think this is one where you see people come in, pit for fuel and tires, and then with 1 to go, come back in. What do you think?
I think you may, especially if you're in the back. I don't think you're going to do it in the front. But let's go back and watch this incident. I caught Neil Hale slow on the apron into 1. I don't know if he had any help on the front stretch or not. It looked like everybody just stacked up out of turn 2 while we were watching it live before the 74 got spun. Didn't know they were 4 wide.
Yeah, they were 4 wide here.
Back it up even further. I said I caught the 03 and Neil Hale loose on the front stretch. Coming into turn 1 was on the apron. See if we can back it up and see what started all this. Okay, looks like he gets a good run. 28 gets a good run off of the corner behind him. It's like Neil goes to try to block it, and he wasn't clear. Just kind of got him spun there a little bit. Love your camera view there, Jerry.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, and then just gets caught up behind it there.
I think the 74, Neil's coming up on track. He's not doing anything wrong, but it just gets real tight.
Yeah, real tight. I don't know that 74 knew he was 4 wide. Tried to give Neil some room.
I think
26
there's also,
was there, just had nowhere to go.
Yeah,
Maybe a little bit of net code also.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think when you see a truck move like this as it does to the right here, that's usually just either, it could be an overreaction by the driver, or frankly, it just could be net code.
Well, on my screen also, it's showing the bumper for the 03 got pushed in a little bit and then popped back out immediately. So I agree,
Yeah.
It may have been a little bit of net code, or the 26 clipped him. I'm not quite sure, but
we've got 4 cars that did not pit. Higginbotham, Harefield, Dorsey, and Dorsey, Brian and Chris. They're going to be your top 4. They did not pit. Everybody else pit. Some for fuel only, and some for tires and fuel.
I don't hate the fuel only call. I think tires are worth it, but I'm not, as many cautions as we've had, I'm not hating the fuel only. I'm not really.
I agree
think
with
it may give you a good idea that, I mean, if you can go and save a little bit of tires, if we get a 10-lap run here and then we have a 10 or 15-lap shootout to the end, 10-lap tires are going to be quite a bit of difference.
I agree 100%. If it were me here, I'd probably take fuel, not take tires. We got 23 laps to go, and we are bunched up, and we've seen a lot of cautions. Unfortunately, I don't think we're done with cautions.
I don't think we are either, and I feel like the guys that just took fuel agree that we're not done with cautions. I mean, worst case scenario, you fall back a little bit if we don't have a caution. Well, you still got a set of tires in the pits, and you can't take them home with you. But if we do get a caution, like we've seen already, I think they're going to be sitting pretty good. Just going to have to make those moves to make it back to the front.
And
Depends
we
on how
are
many trucks.
starting.
Look at the 14 coming back down pit road, it looks like.
Yep, I was going to say, we're starting to see some of the, I'm going to come in and top off. You got a couple takers, Crank Bell, Gary Bowman. Looks like maybe that's it. They're just going to probably come in and top off. Kyle Nadeau and a few in the back.
Yeah, I'm not hating that. Looks like
No.
Chris is still getting some damage fixed and everything too. You wonder if Crank's going to do the same thing now or
Yeah.
not.
So if it's any help for you viewers out there, don't go to Vegas with Cody and I, because his pick, Mike Stiverson, is currently in 10th place. And my pick is in 25th place, Kyle Nadeau, in the pits. It's not over, but not exactly the place you'd want to be.
Yeah, I mean, you have to know, whenever you're a gambler like me, they don't pay out bets right now. There's still 22 laps to go, Jerry.
I think
pay
they
out
do.
bets whenever the race is done.
No, they do pay out bets now. They didn't used to. But if you had Higginbotham up here in the lead, I bet you could get a discounted payout.
I bet you probably could get a discounted payout. I will agree with that. Okay, fine. You called me on my bluff. But I'm holding on to my Mike Stiverson pick. I think he was smart earlier, saving some tires, saving fuel, saving some truck. I mean, I'm not saying it. He has a good chance to be able to go up here and win this race still.
I'll tell you what, with the yellows we've seen, anybody still has a chance if you're on the lead lap.
Absolutely.
Pace truck is off.
Yeah, they are coming to the Geico restart zone again. A little bit of a checkup back in the pack. Green flag is out. A little bit of a, I don't know if somebody spun tires, a little bit of wall contact from somebody there in the middle of the pack, but the front guys are away side by side coming down into turn 1.
Yeah, that second row did not get off well, especially on the outside. And the two leaders of each row really got a good start, although 28 of Brian Dorsey, it seems to be flying right now.
Yeah, and I said there was some wall contact in the back. I don't know if it was from the checkup. There was a little bit of an accordion coming to the green flag there. Just big gaps in all the trucks and everything. I don't know if that had something to do with it or if his tires were spun, but looks like everybody's rolling now and still green on the racetrack.
We had a blinker that ruined my...
And another caution. Another caution's out right now.
Oh,
Like
no.
you said, little baby cautions.
We have Niels blinking, and it looks like Alan just got a little concerned with the blinking and got arrow loose.
Oh, and murdered afterwards. I think he had the truck fine. Just wasn't. Looks like the 07 just wasn't able to avoid him in the middle of the corner there. Little front end damage for Allen, probably from hitting that apron right there with the nose. It would have been okay. And the left front just gets T-boned by somebody else. That's a shame.
That is a shame. That is not going to be the way you want it to do.
It's really hard, though, to avoid those vehicles that are stopped in the middle of the track, especially whenever you're at full speed. It's hard to see around these corners sometimes, especially with trucks around you. I don't think anybody's at fault for that.
Yeah.
For hitting out. In fact, it's just hard to get slowed down sometimes.
It is, and sometimes you don't see it in our view, but you had a truck that was right in front of you that turned off at the last minute, and you didn't know what was in front of you.
Yeah, it's hard to see without a live spotter to be able to tell you that there's a wreck ahead. So I said, unlike NASCAR in real life, most of these guys don't have live spotters. It's just the iRacing spotter, and it doesn't always do the best job getting you clear and telling you what's going on in front of you.
Are you saying it's nice to have a live spotter?
It's a night and day difference to have a live spotter, Jerry.
We've got about half the field pitting. You can see here. It looks like Higginbotham Signs, Garrett Johnson leading the pit charge. Looks like we've got, once again, people in pits getting tires, some getting fuel. And then we've got about 12 cars that stayed out.
Yeah, it looks like about half of the cars that stayed out took tires on the last stop, it looks like.
If you don't have tires,
Meadows,
there's no reason to pit.
Stiverson, Dufton, Anderson, Turner, Hale all took tires last time. Roscoe Koblenz looks like he had quite a bit of damage to fix, but is up in 9th place now. Your leader, Corey Sherman, looks like he took fuel only the last time. Maybe 2 tires with that, but I mean, did not take 4 with a pit time of 7 seconds.
But remember, he came in to top off, so he pit, and then with 1 to go, came in and topped off. So he may have taken tires the lap right immediately preceding. So we talked about our bad betting strategy. Mike Stiverson, 4th place. Kyle Nadeau, 11th place. Remember I said he was 26th. They're making their way up. We got 19 to go, and we are not done with these yellows, I'm guessing. Let's do a quick rundown. Our top 10. Corey Sherman, Cody Meadows, Sam Baumgarten, Mike Stiverson, Nathan Dufton. 6th places, Eric Anderson, Paul Turner, Neil Hale, Roscoe Koblenz, followed by Gary Bowman in 10th.
Kyle Nadeau in 11th, Chris Wold 12th, even with that damage up to 12th place right now. Dave Gameforth 13th, Jason Higginbotham 14th, Brian Dorsey 15th, Chris Harefield 16th, Chris Dorsey 17th, Mark Morton 18th, Chris Letts 19th, Joey Signs in 20th.
21st is George Cushman, Daniel Koblenz, Crank Bell in 23rd. 24th is Garrett Johnson, Stephen Musick, Carter Lawson 26th, Ray Richer, Andy Court 28th, Doug Wysocki 29th is last car on the lead lap. Lap cars down are Alan Ayers, Colby Sipe, Judd Danielson, Jonathan Ellis, William Kern, and Phil Van Vliet.
Yeah, it looks like they are double file. We're going to be going back green this time. Hopefully we can make it to the end. What do we have going left here, Jerry?
Looks like we got
Looks
about,
like,
we're going to have about 17 to go when we pass the line. We've got fresh tires in the back of the pack, older tires in between, fresh tires, maybe a lap or two older up front. We're not done with these yellows.
Yeah, I don't think a couple laps is going to make that much of a difference with as short of a run as what we have going on right now.
I
I
agree.
think- Yeah, I think this is going to be if you're up front, you're going to stay up front. Nobody's pitting again, I don't think, unless they have damage.
Yeah, but those older tires kind of in the middle. We'll see how that works out. Pace truck is off.
Yep, coming to the Geico restart zone again.
Green flag.
Green flag's in the air. It's like equal starts for both lines this time, and everybody got rolling a little bit better than they did the last time.
Cody Meadows out in front, down on the bottom. Is he going to get clear? He is clear. And notice he decisively
Big
goes
wreck
up and takes
behind,
that
big
line.
wreck behind.
South.
Big wreck
Yeah,
behind coming into
radio's
turn
not
one
bad
there.
out there.
Multiple
Chris
cars
Labs.
involved. Just happened to catch it out of the corner of my eye as we were going into turn one. Big wreck there. 3 or 4 trucks involved. Looks like this is where it starts with Crank in the 14 and the 7. 14 gets to his outside. 7 tries to throw a block, but Crank's already there. Looks like that's what caused most of that right there. Looks like the 7 of Cushman tried to get there. Maybe got a little arrow loose with Crank coming to his outside quarter.
That was what I was talking about. You got these guys in the back looking to make a quick run, fresh tires. It gets really crowded back there really fast.
Yeah, I'm not sure the 7 realized how quick the 14 was going to get to his outside. Crank had a pretty good run, pulled out right across the start-finish line, which you're allowed to do. No passing until the start-finish line, but he pulled out right afterwards and made it to his outside quarter. Looked like the 7 was just trying to cover that off, and it was a little late getting there. Crank was already there, and it kind of spun him into the wall and then back down across the field.
So I'm thinking, we're going to see some pits maybe here for damage, but if you don't have damage, you got to, so much for that. We've got Corey Sherman coming in, Paul Turner coming in.
Yeah, I'm not sure unless they have an extra set of tires. Remember, Corey Sherman took that set early. Did he save a set later on?
Let's find out here.
I'm not sure.
We're on Corey here. Let's see. I mean, surely he had enough fuel. I don't see yep, there we go.
Right side going up. Yep. Right side's up. It's back down. Left
Yep.
side's up. 4 tires. He did have an extra set. Although I hate to say it, I don't know that it's going to be worth it right now going this far back. It's going to be scored in 22nd place. Gave up a top 5 position for 22nd place and only 4 lap fresher tires. I'm not 100% sure you want to put yourself back in the mess.
I agree with you for 2 reasons. One, just I like you. No, one, you're right. You're going to put yourself back in the mess. We've only got 15 laps to go, and frankly, I don't think we're done with yellows.
Yeah, I agree. You're kind of just hoping now that cars are going to be wrecking in front of you and that you can get the run without causing a wreck. But you got to remember, we're allowed to block within 10 to go. 4 more laps and you're going to have blocks being thrown as well, which is going to cause more yellows if somebody doesn't catch it in time. I don't think you're going to be able to build the momentum to be able to make 21 positions up to get back to the lead.
I agree with you. Look at some of these guys today. We got Roscoe Koblenz up 25 spots. He's in 8th place overall, having a great race tonight. Some really big movers. Sam Baumgarten up into 2nd, up 24 spots. Neil Hale, another big mover, in 6th place, up 21 spots.
Dave Gainforth in 13th, up 19 spots. And look who's going to be in front of him 3 spots, Chris Wold. You thought he was out whenever he was making his green flag pit stops. He's made that trick all the way up to the top 10.
Yeah, he's still got that damage, but he is a trucking, no pun intended.
I think that pun was very much intended, Jerry.
It's a bad pun. Keep on trucking.
And actually, looking at the rear of the 32 now, it looks like they were able to slap a new piece on the back there, maybe tape it up a little bit. It's a little dented in on the right rear, but hey, that right rear damage can give you a little bit extra side force and make you even faster. Get that spoiler out of the air. He might still have
Yeah.
a chance to come back here.
That's the one thing. It's weird. You never know. Sometimes damage can make you just a little bit faster. All right, lights are out on the truck. We're going to see a pace car off. We're going to have 13 to go at the green.
13 laps to go. Still got 27 trucks on the lead lap.
Cody Meadows took the inside. What do you think about that? Late in the race, old tires.
It's been the shortest way around. The inside lane may have not been starting better the entire race, but the inside lane has been able to clear the outside and get the lead on every restart we've seen so far. The outside lane hasn't been able to hold them off.
Yeah, and as we saw last time, Cody Meadows is not shy once he's clear about moving up and taking that spot.
Now, that's one thing Cody is not as shy or floundering about his moves. He's very aggressive and very decisive in what he wants to do, sometimes to a fault.
Pace truck is off. We are in the zone.
Green flag.
Green flag back in the air.
Great start
Looks
by
like
both
both
trucks.
lanes. Yeah, both lanes got a really good jump there. Still 2 by 2 behind him. A few lanes back, the outside kind of broke apart, but it looks like everybody's good and going. Cody's kind of pushing him up a little bit. Like, this is the one time I said, and looks like Baumgarten is going to be able to hang on to the outside. Cody's not going to be able to clear him, and the outside lane's going to have the run coming down the backstretch. And don't look now, Mike Stiverson's in third, going to come up and give Cody a big push on the bottom.
Remember, we do go on green in this field, so the leader does not have the advantage of going when they choose.
Cody going to be able to clear. Cody is not able to clear him on the exit. Has to come back down to the bottom and try to shortcut.
I think what he's
Looks
doing
like he's
smart,
clear of
though,
him now.
is in trying to get Mike to help give him a push.
Yeah, boxing Mike in where he has no choice but to give him a push. Now Mike's going to try to clear. Cody finally goes up and takes that line. 53 is going to hold him down tight. They're going to be 3 wide for the... Oh, save it, save it. He's in the wall. Oh, they're wrecking behind. Wrecking behind. Big wreck behind. Big wreck behind. Eric Anderson tried to check up and give him a little bit of space there. Looks like everybody just stacked up. He thought he was clear. Wasn't quite able to clear. Let's go back and take another look at that. In real time, it looks like it was just a kind of a bang-bang play there. Couldn't really tell what was going on.
Let me back it up a little bit here.
Yeah, so the 53 has a really good run. Has a really good run coming out of the corner there. Mike is holding him tight, and he doesn't have a whole lot of room. Kind of bounces off the 8 a little bit. Gets it in the wall and is just kind of tank slapping back and forth. 43 checks up, trying to give a little bit of space there. Neil, Kyle come around, and then everything just stacks up behind him, and everybody gets turned up and everything.
Yeah, that's just, it's everybody's pushing, everybody's piled up together. It's just once the tank slapping starts, it's just hard to avoid.
Yeah, and you have 2 choices. You either tank slap back and forth off of the wall, or you check up hard, lock up the brakes, and everybody rear ends you from behind. There's really no good option to have there.
Nah,
Once it starts happening, to get it under control, you've got to lock it down, get it back, but you're going to be 30, 40 miles an hour off the pace with the entire field coming behind you.
yeah, I think the best thing you can do there, try to do, is just lock it down up against the wall and hope everyone goes by. You've kind of you're kind of hurting yourself, but you're not hurting anybody else.
Yeah, just unfortunate there for Eric Anderson, having a great run, was all the way up to 4th place there. Did the right thing, trying to give him the chance to get it back up under control, and the guys behind just took advantage of it. Saw the truck out of shape, took advantage of it, and just put everybody in a bad situation there. Nobody did anything wrong, just hard racing. This late in the race, you got to take everything you can, get everything you can, but just a hard situation there.
Yeah, we've got a lot of cars in the pits getting damage fixed right now. I don't think anybody's pitting for anything other than that, just to try and get some damage fixed. A lot of the guys, unfortunately, some of the guys we talked about having some great runs in the pits. Eric Anderson, George Cushman, Chris Dorsey, Roscoe Coblentz, Andy Cork. Bad way to to have to end the night.
Yeah, and don't forget the 53 of Sam Bumgarten, who was fighting for the lead there whenever that happened.
Yep.
Is it just good hard racing for the lead? Got put in a bad arrow spot, I think, bad situation. And
So that's going to make your
Eric
top
Anderson
10.
did what he could,
Yeah.
did what he could to avoid it, but
And that's going to make your top 10 now. Cody Meadows, Stuyvesant, Dufton, Bowman, Higginbotham, Nadeau in 6th place. So maybe our picks weren't bad, 2 and 6. Harefield, Morton, and Gainforth. Dave Gainforth, how about that? 9th place, up 23 spots.
yeah, it looks like he's the biggest mover of the race so far. Still here with 8 laps to go. Looks like going to green with 8 laps to go.
So what do you think? Do we get a little better return on our money now? Mike's in 2nd, Kyle's in 6th.
I think
don't
I
know.
could probably at least get my stake back right now on Mike. I don't know about you with Kyle. I could probably cash out right now and at least get my money back.
I think I could cash out and get 60%, 70%,
Maybe.
maybe.
But I mean, why do that? What's the fun in
that
that
point-
whenever Mike Stuyvesant can come out here and win this thing? Like I said, I think he still has a really good shot. He's starting on the inside. Cody chose the outside here.
My
I know
guess
they
is,
work together a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say my guess is they're in the same channel together. They're talking to each other. So, Mike's usually the one that's settling Cody down. He's trying to tell him to just relax, run your race, be smooth. What do you think Mike's saying to him now?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think if it were you and me, Jerry, I'm going to try to let the leader in line. I'm going to try to give the leader a put. If I'm in Mike's shoes, I want Cody to get down in front of me, give him a shove, get him out. Let's try to drive away from these guys. We can race the last 5 or 6 laps, 3 or 4 laps, whatever it needs to do. But let's drive away from the group behind. If we fight, we're going to be 3-4 wide for the lead, and we're never going to be able to clear anybody. We may lose it. We may end up wrecked like what just happened.
Yeah, 100%. Because I'm still not convinced we're not going to see another yellow. Once you get down, and especially with these trucks, we've got 25 cars on the lead lap. Once you get down within 10 laps, once you have a yellow, you're going yellow, yellow, yellow.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens now. Pace truck is off, coming to the Geico restart zone.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Mike Stuyvesant, you could tell, didn't get a good jump there.
Wow, Cody's out to a big jump on the high side.
Yeah, but don't look now. Looks like Gary Bowman on the outside is going to have a huge run coming into turn 1, and Mike's going to be under pressure from the 47 behind him.
Yeah,
But he's going to have the shorter run. He's going to get side by side with the 8. He's going to clear him off of turn 2.
he is.
Leaves
Let's-
him the room, though. He is clear of the 8, but he's going to leave him the room.
Yep.
He's going to get under pressure from the 47 now behind on. Hopefully he can have a better run. Tight racing. 47 just can't get the truck turned. Mike Stuyvesant out to the lead. Looks like he's going to be clear on the corner. Got car spinning behind, but he gets it back under control. Gets it back on the track. No yellow. We're still green.
Dave Gainforth got loose, got some arrow loose, went down to the bottom, saved it. We are still green.
Yeah, Mike Stuyvesant clear by a truck length. Side by side behind him into turn 1. Side by side for every position behind him into turn 1. Looks like the 47 is going to be able to clear the 8, but doesn't take the spot. Wants to stay that bottom, block the bottom lane there. Mike's lead now up to 1.5 trucks.
Cody Meadows pulled in behind him and is Mike. I think Mike's just searching for clean air there.
Yeah, well, Mike's got all the clean air in the world with nobody in front of him, side by side behind him for the rest of the field. 3 wide at the back of that pack. So the outside lane has a little bit of momentum. Cody's looking to clear the 47, going to try to dive underneath him, I bet, into turn 1. Isn't quite able to do it. Mike's still clear by half a truck. They're 4 wide behind him into turn 1. It's going to get tight on that exit. Everybody's able to make it through.
We're 6 to
Now,
go,
Mike-
coming down the backstretch. Mike Stuyvesant getting a push from Cody Meadows and the 44 of Higginbotham trying to line up. Oh,
Oh, that worked out bad for Cody. Gave him the push in there, backed off to get off of him, and it looks like Higginbotham took him 3 wide on the outside. Cody's now stuck 3 wide middle. Mike now clear to a 6-car length lead. 5 to go coming across the line this time.
Mike's got that big lead, but behind him is a hornet's nest of cars, 3 wide with
Oh,
5 to
door
go.
banging with Cody Meadows and Higginbotham there. He's able to clear, but Cody's now going to have the run back on the bottom. Gets side by side with him. Oh, they're wrecking behind.
Caution.
It's like they stacked up in there, 4 wide behind him, and there was just a little bit. Everybody kind of came together there.
All on you.
Rest of the field's coming through. Nobody else makes damage. Looks like Corey Sherman sideways on the track. Let's see what happened with that.
Corey's down at the bottom, just
Yeah,
slides
Corey just
up
washes up a
bit.
little bit into the 48, causes them to come up in there. 48 and the 28 just kind of get in the wall there. Then the 6 gets finished off by the 28 as he come back across the racetrack there. Said hard racing, older tires, just got a little bit tight. Nothing much you can do about that except lift or hope you make it. And
So that's going to put us on at least a green-white checker.
I believe that should. I'm not sure if it'll be a natural green-white checker or if it'll be an actual green-white checker. We're lap 82 right now to be 83 at the line. I bet this is going to be our one and only green-white checker.
I think you're right. We've got Corey Sherman's gone to the pits. Looks like everybody else has stayed out. So that means your top 10 are Meadows, Stuyvesant, Higginbotham, Harefield, Bowman, Bell, Nadeau, Dufton, Signs, and Johnston. So Garrett Johnston, remember, running up front all night, had some trouble, got loose, fell to the back. He's back up to 10th spot.
Yeah, Chris Wold did lose a few spots there on that restart. He's back down to 13th again. Cody Meadows up
Is
19
pulling in the
places,
pits.
19 places. Probably going to get a little more damage fixed. Maybe top off on fuel. Damage may be hurting his fuel mileage a little bit. Maybe he has an extra set of tires. Maybe with the damage he decided to save it. Who knows? Let's see.
Let's see what happens. At this point, I kind of just stay out there and run it out, but let's see what happens here. Not seeing the truck move. He's just getting damage fixed.
Yeah, it looks like they're slapping a little bare bond on that rear end there. Still got some damage to fix. I mean, I understand what you say, just stay out, but if your truck's that damaged, you're getting swamped. Would you rather be at the back and drive around the people that wreck, or would you rather be in the wreck?
Yeah, good point.
That's your question right now.
Certainly don't want to be the cause of the wreck.
That's very true.
So our big movers now, Cody Meadows in third up 19 spots, Chris Harefield in fourth up 19 spots. We got some guys in the back up 20 spots. Steven Music up 20 to 11. Paul Turner, we talked about him. His strategy, unfortunately, not working tonight, but he's still up 20 spots. Remember, he did not qualify, started last. He's up to 15th.
Mike Stuyvesant, smart aleck as always, claimed he was taking the middle on this restart. Not the top, not the bottom, but the middle on this restart.
So what's interesting, he can take top or bottom, but I've seen some drivers, if you the second place driver can kind of force you or try to force you a little bit, that if you take bottom, you're going to be way bottom or you're going to be way top. I don't know. What do you think when you're a leader and you call and the second place car tries to force your position? What do you do?
Early in the season here, you have a teammate behind you that's going to be on the bottom. What do you think I'm going to pick? I'm going to trust that my teammate is not going to send me 3 wide into turn 1. That they'll wait and do that racing later on. I mean, it's fair game, but give me the shove. Let's both clear the outside lane, and then we'll worry about racing. It's better to finish 1-2 than to both be wrecked because one of us made a mistake or we lose all of our momentum down the backstretch and end up 5th and 6th.
Absolutely. And, as I say, we go on green here, so you're not going to see Mike make a early move, if you will, to get a big jump. And Higginbotham has been very good on those restarts and timing it with the leader to not give them too much of a jump.
Yeah, looks like so. Mike Stuyvesant, Jason Higginbotham, Cody Meadows lined up behind Mike. Chris Harefield lined up behind Jason. Gary Bowman lined up behind Cody. Crank Bell back up to 6th place, lined up behind Chris. You're going to see some big pushes here on this restart. This is our official one and only green-white checker. If the caution comes out before they take the white flag, that will end the race. Otherwise, the checkered flag will end it. We race back to the checkers.
I think we're still going to see some wrecking. I don't know if we're going to see a yellow, if it's going to occur in the first or the second lap. I'd love to see him finish out, try and race this out, but it's just been one of those nights. We've already had 10 yellows.
Yeah, I've been on focus on cautions the entire race, but I'm back on focus on leader. This is going to be a good race, I think, to the finish. As the pace truck pulls off, you see Cody Meadows is going to be really close to the back bumper of the 20 there. Green flag's in the air. Inside lane did not get that good of a jump there. Outside lane got a little bit better momentum there. Nose to nose crossing the line. Outside lane has 3 trucks pushing them. Cody's going to come back and give a push there. Looks like the 44 is not going to be able to clear the 20, though. 20 is able to fight back, stay at his door, be even up on the exit of the corner here, and have a little bit of a run coming down the back straightaway, still side by side behind him.
Got some tight side drafting. Kyle trying to make a move in the back, and Gary couldn't decide whether to go with him or not. Now Kyle's kind of out on an island. Cody Meadows with
Side
some
by side
contact
there.
on the 18. Crank looking to
Yep.
make a move on the inside. That's
Yep,
a
he's going to
great
get
move.
tight, though, up to the Higginbotham, though. Mike's able to clear. They're 3 wide for second place. This is exactly what Mike wants to see, is 3 wide behind him. He's got about a half a truck length of the 44 on the inside, but he's given his teammate all the drafting help he can have before he comes up and takes the 44. He's going to try to dive down underneath him. He's not quite there. Mike stays in the lead.
Blocking
He's
is
gonna be
allowed.
a little loose, but he's still clear by 1 and pulling, but watch out, Crank is
Oh,
coming.
no!
Crank gets spun behind. It's going to be Higginbotham and Stuyvesant for the lead here. They're wrecking behind. Mike's going to be clear by 1 into turn 3. He's still clear. 18's going to have a big run here, but he's going to be checked up by the 44. They're both going to lose their momentum.
Mike's trying
Mike's
to
going to be
shorten
clear
it.
by 1, trying to shorten it up. It's going to be a 3-wide battle, but Mike is going to be clear with the win by 1 truck length over Chris Harefield, who narrowly beats Jason Higginbotham for 3rd.
Kyle Nadeau, I'm going to mention as 4th since he was my pick. Not a bad night. Not a podium,
your
but
pick
not
may be
too bad.
4th, but I'm going to the pay window,
Yeah,
Jerry,
you
because
are.
my pick got the win.
Good job. We'll put some money on it next week. Let's go back and take a quick look
Boy.
while you kind of get our drivers.
I'm going to
set
go
up.
see if I can get some people rounded up and everything. You go look and see what happened at this wreck with Crank Bell on the last lap there.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can find that for you. It's a little hard to find here, but I might have to just back it up a little bit here. So they were battling for position. Cody Meadows. Here we go. You can see it there. Crank goes down low, comes back up a little bit. Cody and the 18 get together. The 8 gets into the quarter of Crank, and it's just at that speed, there's not much else you can do. Crank tries to keep it together. You can see Cody Meadows up ahead. Let's back it up a little bit because it looked like after that there was some more carnage. Some just really tight racing, last lap racing, getting bounced around. Not much you can do. But even after that, some more carnage. Down low, everywhere. Some of those trucks, no fault of their own, just caught up in the wrecks. But unfortunately,
Jerry?
part of last minute racing. But as far as winners go,
Well, Jerry, I think I've got Jason Higginbotham in there. If you want to go talk to him real quick. Looks like he was ousted from second place by the width of the checkers on the start finish line there. It is literally by a nose. Jason Higginbotham was able to come into 3rd place.
Jason, you got a copy.
I got a copy, sir.
Man, what a finish. I don't know if you saw what happened behind you, but what did you think about that finish?
Jerry, I thought it was awesome. I was trying to, race Mike as clean as I could without leaving a lane open for them guys. And Mike didn't let me have the bottom, and this truck definitely needed the bottom. I wasn't no good up top, so he did a great job.
Yeah, I noticed he was making sure, maybe threw a little bit of a block on you there, and then made sure you had to run where he wanted you to run. But you were running great all night. I mean, you were up towards the front and had a good run. I mean, what was it according to plan? I mean, we had too many yellows maybe, but I mean, what was your strategy and how'd you play that out?
Yeah, it is my opinion here, but yeah, I felt like I had the best truck. Beginning of the race, Mike was on me, and forget the fellow that was leading. There was a few trucks that ran good, but this truck was great all night out in the lead. I kept seeing me gap them in both corners when I was on the bottom, but if I was behind people and couldn't get the bottom, I felt like it shoved the nose a little bit. Yeah, no, the plan was just to run it to take it what it could, and the truck got looser and looser as the race went along, and yeah, but it still felt pretty good. I felt like it had the best truck, but you know how that is.
I do know how that is. Well, what do you think kind of the upcoming season? Are any tracks in particular you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I looked on a series. I definitely think there's a few tracks I look forward to. I can't remember the whole lineup. I tried I'm not a super speedway man. I tried last week and ended up wrecking both my trucks and practice qualifying there, so I didn't have nothing left. So I didn't race last week.
Understand. Well, listen, I'm going to turn it over to you. Anybody you want to say thank you to or hi to?
Yeah, Jerry, definitely. I definitely want to thank Cyber Thunder Racing. All these guys are great, man. The whole team we got, and Channel 14 is great. Good times and have a blast. And I want to thank Hickey's House of Power.
Awesome, man. Hey, great race tonight. I hope we're talking to you in the weeks to come.
I appreciate you, Jerry. Thank you very much, bud.
You betcha. Hey, Cody, I think you caught up with our second place finisher, Chris.
I did. Chris, this is Cody and Jerry up in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir, I do.
Hey, 7 thousandths of a second. You nosed Jason out for second place. How's that feel?
It was a good battle. Those last 3 laps were pretty intense. We had a lot of fun doing it. These trucks are fun to race when you got, good drivers side by side with you and you can trust them and know your move and know their move. And it's, you just battle to the end. It's fun.
Yeah, I know we had a lot of cautions during the race and everything. A lot of comers and goers, a lot of good trucks got wrecked, but man, you were running up front most of the night, had a really good run. Was everything going according to plan, or would you have done anything different if it had turned out in green flag running?
Well, I feel like I passed the most trucks of anybody because I actually started 25th or so and I come up through the field and went back to the back and came back through again. And we were setting ducks there with about 20 to go when we didn't pit when everybody else did. And then that final caution came out and we came back out in the teens somewhere. And we just got lucky with a couple cautions we had there at the end and we were not involved.
Yeah, I can understand that. Hey, not a very good finish last week at Daytona. Had a really good finish this week at Michigan. How are you feeling next week for Chicagoland?
Chicagoland's a lot of fun. We definitely bounced back from where we were last week at Daytona, which is always it's like a jack in the box. You never know how many turns it's gonna take for it to wind up and explode. So glad to be away from there and onto some tracks where you can control your own destiny. And look forward to next week.
Well, good. Hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week. Before I let you go, I'm going to turn it over to you. Say hi to anybody you want. Thank anybody you want. Floor is yours.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for doing the broadcast, especially Cyber Thunder for putting this on for all of us guys to get together and have fun on a Tuesday night. It's a lot of fun and look forward to it week in and week out. Thanks to Toyota keeping me going, and we'll try again next week.
All right. Well, hey, good job tonight. Second place. It wasn't quite that finish, but you managed 7 thousandths over third place right there. Second place is better than third all night long. I'll take you back down to your room, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week.
Okay, thanks, Cody. Have a good night.
I think Jerry has the man, the myth, the legend, Mike Stiverson. Called it from the get-go, Mike. I'm taking that ticket straight to the pay window. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Mike, that last green-white checker, take me through it.
I'm still shaking. So I knew I had my teammate right behind me, Cody Meadows. I knew he was going to just push me. We had done enough restarts that I knew what the tires were going to do. I knew how the truck was going to feel on that low line in one. I just let her rip, guys. I was completely driving in my mirror that last lap.
We saw you throw a block there on the 44.
Yeah,
were you worried?
Right,
or?
that first back stretch.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. He had the run on the top side, and I saw him coming, and I kind of threw that block, and then I could see Crank, and I assumed he had much fresher tires, so I could see Crank coming. And once Crank got there, and they ended up 3 wide there and 3 and 4, I was like, oh, I'm cool. And then from that point, I was just trying to control the runs, just trying to give a draft to Cody. Really is what I was trying to do until I don't know what happened there. Him and Crank got together or something, but yeah. Oh man, whoo, that's fun.
Well,
So.
I was gonna say,
So, Mike, is this the end of your bad luck streak? I mean, you've had nothing but bad luck for the last year and a half, it seems like. Now you come back out here. Ever since the championship run on Wednesday night, you've had nothing but bad luck. But you come out here the second race of the season and win. Is this the turn of the tide?
I hope so. These trucks, the competition is so even in these trucks, especially at a track like this where there's a lot of drafting. I mean, it just comes down to minute details of taking care of your tires and being able to take care of your stuff so you're faster later in the run. When we get into some of these tracks, Dover and stuff, where you've actually got to take care of the truck and drive it, that's going to be interesting to see. These trucks are hard to get through to the playoffs, so I hope so. I mean, I hope this can, turn into a cup podium come Thursday, because I kind of like Texas. But we'll see. Who knows? We'll see.
So you early on, we saw lots of different strategies in terms of tires and pitting for fuel and that sort of thing. I mean, what do you do when the yellows come out? Do you just do you start over? Do you try to stick to your original plan? What do you do when those yellows come out?
Well, so the original plan was if there's an early yellow to stay out and then pit on cycle to get us to the end. And that's kind of what I think. I just kind of stayed on plan. Kyle tried to stay off plan, but once he got track position, he couldn't go back in and get that extra set of tires because track position was so key here. So I think it was right the way we did it. Cody and I came down. If I remember correctly, there was 24 laps to go when we came down. So I knew with cautions getting in there, I figured we could probably make it. I think we were a half lap short when we came down for that last stop, and then the cautions just put us over. There was no way I was giving up track position. Like, that was key.
That's awesome. Well, listen, what do you think about Chicagoland next week?
I will be in Las Vegas, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad I'm going to miss it, but same time, Viva Las Vegas. Good luck
Viva
to these
Las
guys.
Vegas. All right. Well, listen, you were Cody's pick from the get-go. So if you need any tips on betting while you're in Vegas, give him a call. In the meantime, I'm going to turn over to you, let you thank whoever you want to.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Jerry. And we all know I like to talk to Cody as little as possible, so I will not be calling him while I'm on vacation.
Well, that's why I gave Jerry the interview, because I know you hate talking to me.
There we go. I've got to thank, Meadows Wrestling Academy for sponsoring the race tonight. They were doing elbow drops from the top turnbuckle, I guess. Not sure, but I thank them. I got to thank my team, my guys over at WTF, Carter, Kyle, Cody, and then Chris Wolds jumping in there. So Chris, all those guys couldn't have done it without them. We were all strategizing together. Got to thank them. I got to thank you two for putting on the broadcast. I appreciate you guys giving up your Tuesday nights so we can all go back and watch our dreams come true. And I got to thank all the guys at Cyber, every single one of them that come out here and race Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday night. Without them, there is no Cyber. So thank you to all those guys. And thanks, guys.
Awesome, man. Well, we obviously won't be talking to you next week, but I hope we are talking to you in the weeks to come. Good luck in your championship hunt.
I appreciate it.
Cody, we're going to wrap up another Tuesday night. Let me see if I can make these results work.
Yeah, before we start going through them, we'll see if you can get them pulled up, though. That
I
was a
still
really
can't.
good race. A little more cautions than I think we wanted to, but I don't think Mike cares right now. He wanted everything. Everything worked out perfect for him.
Yeah, that was a fun race. I mean, I think, obviously you'd like to see a little cleaner, a little more greens, but it was fun to watch the different strategies play out. It was fun to watch that last little run.
Yeah, and absolutely. We'll go. I don't know if you got them up or not, Jerry, but we'll go through anyway. Mike Stiverson comes away with the checkered flag, doing his burnouts on the front start-finish line there. Chris Harefield up 21 spots, finished P2. Jason Higginbotham lost out on second place by 0.07 of a second, but comes home in P3. Kyle Nadeau in fourth. Nathan Dufton fifth. Joey Signs, Garrett Johnston, Carter Lawson, Mark Morton, and Steven Music make up the rest of your top 10.
11th place is Andy Cork, Doug Wysocki, 12th, Gary Bowman, Crank Bell. We saw that incident. He was running up there trying to challenge for the lead, ended up 14th. Chris Dorsey, Chris Wold, we saw battling with damage all night, ended up 16th. George Cushman, Neil Hale, Brian Dorsey, and Eric Anderson in 20th.
Yeah, Cody Meadows with that incident on the white flag lap ended up in 21st. Ray Richard 22nd, Paul Turner 23rd, Dave Gameforth 24th, Roscoe Koblenz 25th, Corey Sherman 26th, Daniel Koblenz 27th, Sam Bumgarten 28th, Chris Letts 29th, Judd Danielson 30th.
Alan Ayers 31, Colby Sipe 32, Jonathan Ellis 33, Philip Van Vliet, and William Kern ended up 35th. That's our rundown for tonight. Race results are not on your screen. All you see is the banner. I tried to figure it out, still can't figure it out. I'll keep working at it and try and get better for you out there, viewers. Well, let's wrap up another night, Cody. It's been fun. We're going to go to Chicago next week. What do you think? We can get a little cleaner?
Yeah, I think Chicagoland is a little bit smaller at 1.5 miles instead of 2 miles. It's a little bit rougher. It's definitely rougher on that right front tire. Be a little bit more tire saving going on, so I don't think you'll see near as many runs as you did tonight. Hopefully a little bit cleaner, but I bet good racing nonetheless.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. We will see you next week. See ya.
Look forward to it, Jerry. See you and see you all on YouTube.